Hi, welcome back to the Mindful Space. Today we have Brandon Bostick. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay, perfect. I have to ask every guest because it's kind of confusing. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and professionally and personally.
Okay, so my name is Brandon Bostick. I'm 30. I'm 33. I'll be 34 in May. My birthday is May 3rd, so
Oh, Taurus.
Taurus,
Nice.
very Taurus. So I'm 33. I'll be 34. Played 5 years in the NFL, so I went to Newberry College. So I went to college for 4 years, so I played 5 years in the NFL. I graduated from there recently during COVID, actually. So that's part of my
Really
story. So I
nice.
graduated during COVID, so went back to school during COVID, so I graduated. So I got that. So college
What did you
graduate,
graduate with?
sports management.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Of course.
yeah, of
Makes
course.
sense.
So I went to school for that. Played 5 years in the NFL, and now I'm a business owner. So I own Sage Elite Healing, which is a mental health practice in Denver, Colorado. So that's kind of my story.
Perfect. Well, going back to playing the NFL,
hmm
how did you get there? When did you get drafted? How did it all begin for you?
I wasn't drafted.
Oh,
Undrafted.
okay. Let's cut that
Undrafted.
part then.
No, you could. You could have let that
Let's
roll.
rephrase that question.
Really?
Yeah.
I was. I would have rolled with it.
Don't worry about it. That's what we have him.
You felt bad saying.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to say something that you're not. Okay.
I
But
know,
then
but
it
that's
doesn't
like
sound
that's like
correctly.
that's kind of like the thing. Like everyone thinks everyone gets drafted to sports, but everyone
Okay.
doesn't get drafted. So
Okay.
if you, it's kind of like pretty cool if you go undrafted
Okay.
because you wasn't chosen, but you made it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say it again
No,
then.
you good. No, you good.
But I do want you to explain that though. So just put it in your answer because that was pretty cool. So going back to the beginning, the NFL. How
yeah,
did you get into it?
I was undrafted, which means I wasn't selected. Like no teams were looking to pick me up on their team, so I had to go try out. So I was undrafted, so I had a tryout in Green Bay.
Okay.
I went there, had a tryout, and I just made the team. So I was undrafted. I played 4 years at Newberry. So I went to college 4 years, had a pro day. Pro day is where like all these teams come and you just show them how fast you are, you show them how strong you are, you
Mm-hmm.
just show them your skills. So I did that. The draft came. I didn't get drafted, so I wasn't chosen. So then Green Bay Packers called me for a tryout, so I had to go there try out. It's 3 day mini camp, so you had like a 3 day trial, you know. So
Uh-huh.
I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you just practice and just show them how good you are.
Yeah.
So
Just showing off a little.
just showing off a little, but I didn't get signed there, so I went home.
Really?
I got
Okay.
sent back home, so I went back home for a month, kept training, kept working out, kept chasing the dream.
Yeah.
Then they called me and they said they wanted to sign me, so that's when I started to. I
Wow.
guess that's when my dream came true. So
Yeah.
what was that? That was like June. I want to say 2012. So
Okay.
that was almost 10 years now. So it's been a
Oh my
while.
God. And that was your ultimate goal,
Yeah,
right? At that point, that's what you were going for. That was your one thing.
yeah, that's what I wanted to do since I was five. Since I was five. It's funny we talking about this. I asked my parents because I can't remember how long I was playing football. So like, Mom, how long have I been playing football? She's like, you've been playing football since you were five. I'm like, damn, that's all I ever known. That's all I
Mm-hmm.
ever did was play football. Sports, not really football. I played football, basketball, and baseball. So sports is just my life. So
Yeah.
um,
Did anybody else in your family play football at all? Were you the first
yeah,
one
my
to kind of
brothers,
pursue
my
that?
dads, my cousins, everyone played football.
Okay.
Sports was the way out back in South Carolina. So that's what everyone did. And I just got good at it. I just kept achieving at it, kept excelling at it, and just
Mm-hmm.
then I got big and I got some size and I just kind of took off with it. So,
Yeah. Now, how was your mental health while you were in the NFL?
ooh, um,
Looking back on it.
looking back on it,
Yeah.
well, I would say up until 2015 when the traumatic event happened. I didn't know what mental health was. I didn't even think about mental health. I
Mm-hmm.
never even heard of that word, so I never even knew what it was.
Really?
I was just so focused on football and just um, trying to get my mental to a place where I could compete with NFL guys, you know. So that's where my mental was. I was so focused on this warrior, this mentality, like
Mm-hmm.
just get better every day. Like you don't feel pain. You have to have this like gladiator mindset to play. So that's what my mentality was. So I didn't really think about mental health. I didn't know what it was until something, of course, something bad happened to me,
Yeah.
and then you
Isn't that
come.
usually the
That's
case?
always seems like the case. You have to learn the hard way, or you
Exactly.
just go through it and you figure out what things is. So
Looking back on it though, Do you recognize some warning signs that maybe you missed?
Oh, so many warning signs. Now that I'm out of it, of course, I see all the signs.
You're like, I was bad. I was
Yeah,
deep down in
I
the
was
hole.
deep in there,
Okay.
but definitely I can see the warning signs. I can feel them for sure. But when you're in it, when you're not aware, you don't know what it is, you don't know your diagnosis, you kind of just feeling it. And you think it's not normal, but it's your norm, I guess. I guess you can say.
Yeah. Or you feel like, I'm not the only one. It's
Yeah,
normal. People are feeling it,
yeah,
but it could be a sign of weakness if you talk about it or
yeah, for
something,
sure.
right?
hmm
Especially in the NFL, I can see how
Or even just being a man,
talking.
just
Exactly.
that's even kind of the
Yeah.
thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be NFL.
hmm
Maybe the masculinity.
Correct. As an NFL player, did you ever get paid or did you ever get support in the mental health field?
Um, when I was playing, I was all for support, but I didn't really. I'm like, I'm tough. I'm 25, 26 year old.
Okay.
Like I'm good. I can just fight through it. It's okay. Like life is. I got all these things. I got money. I got fame. Life is good. I'm achieving my dreams. So mental health wasn't really a thing, but the support was definitely there. Now that I'm done, the
hmm
support is definitely needed. So
Okay.
I got these benefits. You get mental health benefits. You get all this therapy sessions and everything you need to, for your mental health. So now that I'm done, I definitely use the resources a lot more. But when I was playing, I wasn't focused.
Okay.
I was more focused on football.
Money and fame.
Yeah, yeah, that's all.
Playing the
Just
game.
playing the game and living the life.
Okay. But it is offered
It
for all
is
the
offered for
teammates,
sure.
something. Okay. So that's good.
Uh,
But
but
does
when I was
anybody
playing,
usually
I was gonna say when I
do
was
it?
playing,
Go ahead.
it wasn't like a known thing. Like the therapists and like all these different modalities, it wasn't like talked about as much as that is now. I think it's
Okay.
definitely more talked about. People are more comfortable taking the resources and talking about the mental health and doing podcasts. So it's definitely more
Mm-hmm.
talked about now.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely been an improvement.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. In your experience or in your opinion, do you believe or do you think NFL players have more mental health issues than maybe in other careers?
Um, I do. I think it goes. Football is a collision sport. You always, and it's a mental. Like you're always smashing your head. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what makes a difference. You have that head trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And head trauma causes so many different things. So I think that's why football players have more mental health than others because, it's a contact sport. It's a very violent sport.
Yeah.
Um, and the hits and the concussions, all that stuff add up. So I think that's why football players have more injuries and more
Yeah.
concussions and more mental health.
I would agree. And then even going back to, like you said, the
hmm
masculinity, the tough
Yeah,
game,
and how you're
even
raised.
culturally,
Yeah.
yeah. You're just trying to, like for you, for example, it
hmm
was your way out, right?
Yeah.
So
Whatever
you
it
just,
took,
yeah, whatever it
yeah,
took.
that was the mentality.
Exactly. When did you notice your mental health declining and why?
Um, I would say 2015. Playing an NFC Championship game, like um, that's when I started to notice that I was having all these different feelings and emotions that wasn't uh, what I was. It wasn't normal. It wasn't
hmm What you
healthy.
weren't used to.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was used to. So I started to feel like I wasn't happy all the time, or I was just depressed all the time and just not motivated. I
Okay.
didn't really love football like I used to. So just going through those things, that's when I started to realize, like Brandon, like you're not the Brandon you're not the 5 year old. You don't really love football
Yeah.
like you used to.
You
So
weren't finding like the
yeah,
passion. Okay.
and I wasn't working out as much. I didn't really take football really serious as I did before. So that's when I started to realize that my mental health wasn't in a healthy place.
Yeah. Now, I know there was this one traumatic
hmm
event or this one event that happened
Yeah.
that kind of triggered a lot of things.
hmm
Do you mind telling that
Oh
story?
yeah, for sure. So what was it? It was 2014 season.
hmm
So I was on the Packers, Green Bay Packers. So um, 2014 season, we're having a good season. We make it to the playoffs. We beat the Cowboys. Then the last game before the Super Bowl, which is the NFC Championship. So we're playing the Seattle Seahawks. So the score is 19-14 with 2 minutes left.
Mm.
2 minutes and 14 seconds. I'll never forget
Oh,
this moment.
you're like, I know all the
I know
details.
all the details of it. Obviously, because I work on it, I go through therapy, so I can easily talk about it. But yeah, so it's 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. and we're lined up on the onside kick. And the onside kick, you know, we're receiving the ball, and the team is kicking, so they're trying to get the ball back from us. All we need to do is catch the ball, and we win the game, and we go on to the Super Bowl. So I'm on the front line. They kick me the ball, and I jump up for the ball, which that wasn't my job. I was supposed to block, so
Okay.
my friend can catch the ball. So I was supposed to block, and my friend is supposed to come catch it. But in the middle of the play, the ball is kicked in the air, and my instinct is to go get the ball because that's all I ever done. You know, football. I played
Hmm.
catching the ball is just natural. So my instincts kicked in. When they got the ball, I'm like, oh shit, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to block. So I didn't catch it. So I was like kind of in between catching it and blocking. So I didn't do nothing. I dropped the
Okay.
ball. The other team got the ball. Then I just black out. Like I don't remember. I
Really?
don't remember. Yeah, I was obviously I know now because I've watched it and gone through
Yeah.
it. But from that moment to the sideline, I don't remember what happened. So I just get to the sideline. I just sit there. I just remember like the stadium is going crazy. My teammates are screaming at me. My coaches yelling at me. I'm like, whoa. Like I
Yeah. Like,
really
what did
just,
I just
yeah,
do?
what did I just do? Like my life just went from reaching my dream to like, this could be over for me. You know, that was a big mistake. You know, like you cost your
Yeah.
team a chance to the Super Bowl. So I went through that and just kind of blacked out and just all these different emotions, all these different feelings. So I went through that. Um, then I had to do an interview in the locker room. That kind of just really,
Oh my God.
that really just I guess started my mental health because I was just so overwhelmed with thoughts and emotions.
Yeah.
And they asked me about something that just happened, and it was
And
just
you didn't
so.
even remember.
I
You're
don't even
just like,
remember. It
guys,
just
I blacked out. I'm
I
in shock.
I was
Can
just
we do this
I was
another
so much
day?
going on myself. I went through that, and that kind of started my mental health journey, and just things just went down from there.
Yeah. What kind of, I know you got a lot of backlash
Hmm.
from your fans, even from
Yeah, from my
coach,
fans,
from
they were.
teammates. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. What
Um,
kind?
but I thought that was normal. I thought it was normal for people to criticize you um,
I mean,
as a professional athlete, but
yeah.
not in a racist way or a way that it degrades a person to a point of mental health issues. You know, so
Yeah.
that was the first time me experiencing that, like people calling me the N word or just getting death threats in my email or just over a football game. So it was very overwhelming for me to deal with that. And then I was
Hmm.
already dealing with it for myself. You know, I was already beating myself up about it mentally. Like I was just doubting myself. I didn't think I could catch. You know, I just didn't think
Yeah.
good thoughts about myself. So it's all these unhealthy thoughts, and then I was getting it from the outside
From
world, and
random
then I got
people.
released from my team, so I was just like, just
Yeah.
in a bad spot.
It's like a domino effect of
Domino
things
effect, like
happening.
everything just overwhelming, everything just piled on me at once.
Yeah. So at that point, that's when you were really at your lowest, you would
At my
say.
lowest, yeah. But I still was trying to play football. I still had a career, you know.
Okay.
And at that point, I always include this point because in the NFL, you need 3.5 years to get your pension, like your benefits,
Hmm.
like your 401k,
Yeah.
all those things. So if you don't make it to 3.5 years, you don't get those. At this point, I was at 2 years. So I'm like, damn, like my career could be over, but I need another year so I can
Yeah.
get that. So I was depressed and I was having that just happened. I'm like, damn, but I need another year. So I had to kind of like rebuild myself up mentally to
Hmm.
go play football, even though I didn't want to play football, to get that year so I could have my benefits. So, you know, so
Yeah.
I always tell that part because that's what like that's the only reason I kept playing football,
Okay.
just so I could get my, because
Yeah,
like,
your
yeah,
benefits.
like
If
what's the point
not,
of, if not, like, what are you playing football for? I just
exactly.
wasted, not wasted, but I just didn't get, I just didn't
Yeah,
achieve
the
the goal.
benefits
Yeah,
that everybody wants, and
that's what you play for, you know, and that's what you set yourself up for, your family.
exactly.
So that was the reason why I just kept playing and pushed myself to keep playing.
Okay. And at that point, did you prioritize your mental health at all, or did you
Um,
cite it for another year so you could focus on the playing
Well,
the
it's
game?
interesting. There's some events that happened in between there. So after I dropped the ball, after the event happened, um, the season was over. So the season was over. At the end of the year, every team has like exit meetings. You know, you meet the coach, and
Okay.
you kind of get your end of the year progress report. You tell them how you feel, like how you did throughout the game. So I did that with my coach, and I was telling him, I asked him man to man. I said, "Am I going to be here next year?" You know, like
Yeah, like
that.
tell me truth.
Yeah, man to man. Like, am I going to be on the team? He's like, "Yeah, you're going to be here next year. You're good." So I'm like, "Okay." Kind of felt good about myself. You know, I had a good year.
Hmm.
He said I was going to be in the plans. You know, I was starting to move up the depth chart. I was starting to get more playing time. So I'm like, okay, like I messed up that play, but I just talked to the coach. he said that I'm gonna be here next year. So I'm like, okay, I got that. We're gonna be good. So I went home off season. Just I was still partying. That's what I did. So I just partied. As soon as just drink, party, just whatever. That was what I was doing for coping. That's all I knew. I didn't
Yeah.
know therapy. Like I didn't know mental health.
You probably
I
didn't even know you were
Nah,
using it as a
I
coping
didn't at all. I just
mechanism.
thought it was fun and I felt good. So I did that and then I got a call. I'll never forget. I was in Houston. I was partying. I had to fight the next day. I got a call from Green Bay. I'm like, who the hell's calling me from Green Bay?
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't good. And it was the team. Come speak to Brandon. I'm like, yeah, this is him. They're like, okay, like, we're gonna release you. Like, we don't pretty much means like you're cut, like you lost your
Yeah.
job. I'm like, holy shit, I'm hungover in bed. Like, I just lost my job. Like, I just talked to the coach. Coach said I was good, but I wasn't good. So I got cut and I got released. So after that, I had to fly to Green Bay and I just moved. So that's when I started to go down south. I got cut. Then I went to the Minnesota Vikings. So I got signed by the Vikings. Went there partying, just not really loving football. I was coming to Miami like every weekend.
Don't blame Miami. Come
It
on.
wasn't-
Come
I was
on.
coping with Miami. This is crazy. I was just coming to Miami every weekend, so
Okay.
I would just work out during the week and then party in Miami on the weekend. I had a girlfriend in Miami. Miami was just it was love. That's where my peace and happiness was. I was going to Key West. I was just doing all these different things, but still not focused on football. So I went to the Minnesota Vikings, got released there. Then I went to Arizona Cardinals, and this is where I was living at the time. So I lived in Arizona since 2012, and that's where I live now. So
Good.
I go back home. I'm playing in my hometown team, so that was even worse for me. So
Really?
I'm hometown. Of course, I'm just all my friends there. So I'm doing
Oh, okay.
that even
Bad
more party and
influences.
just more craziness. I'm like, man, still not focusing on football. So then I get cut from there. Then I go to New York, and this is probably like my last chance. Coach is like you're starting to get old. Like you're just bouncing around on teams.
Yeah.
The word is starting to get out. Like you're not really focused on football.
Yeah.
So I get signed by the Jets. So I make the Jets that year. Then I make it 2016. So I was just partying the whole time from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then I got my diagnosis. That's when I started to change my life around. So my coping mechanism was just partying, just doing whatever I could to make myself feel good. So
Yeah. To like numb yourself.
that's what I did for 5 years.
Nowadays, you're clean. You're sober.
Yeah,
You still have a
not
drink
sober.
here and there.
I don't drink to heal. I don't drink. Drinking isn't my
Exactly.
coping mechanism. It's more of a
You're like, I'm
social.
still sociably
Yeah,
a sociable drinker.
yeah. I'm a social drinker. It's not a coping
Yeah.
mechanism, but yeah,
I think it has to do a lot when it's the relationship you have
yeah.
with the
It is.
substance,
It is.
more than the substance
Yeah.
itself. So if you're able to heal your relationship with whatever it is,
Hmm.
for some,
Yeah.
then you can have a balance, not for others,
Yeah.
but
So I got
um
that balance. I'm doing more things to help myself healthy ways. Like I said, I do therapy. I have my therapist.
mhm,
I do yoga. I meditate. So I do more healthy things than drinking. So drinking
okay,
is more of a social activity now.
got it. Now it might just be like a scotch.
Yeah. Tequila. Drink
Tequila.
tequila
Okay, nice.
for
Good
sure.
margarita.
Good margarita, spicy margarita.
Nice. All right. Great.
I kept playing. I was depressed, I had all these mental health issues unknowingly. I didn't know. I was just
Mm-hmm.
going through it. So I was partying, drinking, doing drugs, doing everything I could to make myself feel good. In an unhealthy way, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all these things, and finally it caught up to me. I got drug tested. So I got drug tested, and I fucking failed the drug test. The last game of the season. So I got suspended for 4 games. I was partying, drinking in New York. This is when I was on the jet. So this is 2016. The event happened 2015. So 2015, I just partied,
Yeah.
drank, and just did all these unhealthy things, but still trying to play football. And then I got signed to the Jets, and then I played 15 and 16. So I played 2 more years
Mm-hmm.
after that traumatic event. So the last game I ever played, I failed a drug test. So I was suspended for 4 games. So that's when I started to notice my mental health. I'm like, okay, like this is just getting crazy.
Yeah.
So that's when I went to the treatment facility.
Okay.
So I did, damn, what did I do?
Did they make you go to treatment facility, or was this your choice?
This is my choice. This is my choice and my agent's choice. Like, let's go there, get yourself in the right
Okay.
mindset so you can play football and continue your career. So, damn, I want to say I did 8 weeks there in 2016.
Okay.
So I did 8 weeks to go, like, get my mind right, like, see what's wrong with me. So but I didn't get diagnosed. I was just
You
there.
didn't? That
I
was gonna be my
didn't.
next question.
Yeah, I didn't get diagnosed. So
Were
I
they
was
just treating like the substance
substance
abuse
abuse,
thing? Okay.
treating substance abuse, and just trying to get me back in the league. That's what I wanted to do.
Mhm. Okay.
So I went through that for 8 weeks, and then just didn't get back in the league. My career ended.
Now, so at this point, you are out of the treatment facility. You're
Yeah,
still playing football.
still trying to play. Yeah.
Okay. At what point did you get diagnosed?
Ooh, that was 2016. I didn't get diagnosed till 2020.
Oh my
COVID.
God.
So
COVID
16, 17, 18,
just kept
19,
going.
just living miserably in a dark
You're
place.
like living, or
Living,
I thought I
thought
was.
I was in a
Okay.
dark place. So I was just living. Didn't have, like I said, I didn't have my degree at the time. So I didn't have a college degree. All I had was a 5-year career. So I had my career. I didn't have a job. I didn't know what was next for me.
Mm-hmm.
The traumatic event happened. So I was just in a bad place. I didn't know what
Yeah.
was next. So I just did whatever I
Yeah, you're
wanted.
just taking it. I mean, you were doing the best
Yeah.
you knew how to
Yeah.
do. And
But then COVID
yeah.
hit, and then there was no distractions. And there's
Then you really had to confront
yeah,
everything.
so that was kind of that was the light for me. So COVID was kind of bad. I guess it was bad, but it was like a blessing for me.
Okay.
That's when I got diagnosed, and that's when I figured out like social anxiety, major depression, where I started to get my diagnosis. I'm like, okay, this is what the diagnosis gave me confirmation of what I was feeling, So I know like, okay, this is what I feel. This is why I
Finally
feel
got a
that way.
name for it.
Yeah, I got a name for it,
Okay.
and that kind of just opened my eyes to, like just how I can heal and how I can, because I knew I was gonna deal with this for the rest of my life. I'm like, I might as well just learn about it and
Exactly.
get used to it and just make friends with it. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah. I always say that, it's like going to the doctor. Somebody tells you you have bronchitis or
Yeah,
whatever, like you treat it,
yeah, you
right?
do.
And once you know that something is happening in regards to your mental health,
Hmm.
then it's almost unavoidable to just go and treat it, right? Because
Yeah,
you feel like, okay, well, I have to do something about it.
yeah,
But sometimes that journey to discover the the diagnosis can be so long.
hmm
Like for you, it was years
yeah.
before,
It was
caught up to
that
you.
happened 2015. I didn't get diagnosed till 2020. So that's
Okay.
5 years of just unknowing, just going through it.
Mm-hmm. Now, you got diagnosed, you did the treatment facility, you went through all that.
Hmm.
In your official diagnosis, correct me if I'm wrong, is depression and anxiety.
Severe
S-
social anxiety and major depressive disorder.
Okay. Wow, severe social
Yeah,
anxiety while playing for
I
the
know, right?
NFL.
Uh,
Oh
I
wow.
think that came from more of the social media,
Mhm.
the
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 questioning, the
questioning,
media.
yeah, just
Yeah.
not wanting to be like everywhere I went. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're that guy, like you're Brandon Bostick." Like so that kind of gave me some anxiety about
Hmm.
myself and just wanting to be me or just not wanting to go places. So I think that's where the most of the anxiety comes from.
How do you deal nowadays with your depression and social
I
anxiety?
ask
Because
myself
people are,
that all the
yeah,
time. Like, how
because
do I
people are
deal?
gonna keep talking. I'm sure they still identify you
I
with
do,
that
for
one
sure.
mistake because people are mean.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with it now?
Therapy. I go talk to my therapist. And like you said, I know I can't control what other people say about me. So I
Hmm.
have to control how I feel and how I think about myself. So I try to work on those things. I can't control people tweeting or just saying anything. So I try to
Yeah,
control myself, control the things I can control, and just know that that mistake doesn't define me as a person. Um,
exactly.
and people make mistakes all the time, but
All the time.
mine just happened to be,
You,
broadcasted,
you just happen to be in the
Yeah, I just happened to be in the
NFL.
NFL. It happened to be.
Exactly.
So I started to learn those things and just know, like, I don't know, just don't take things too serious.
And don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
Hmm.
And other people, I know people are dealing with their own stuff. So I know people splash,
Yes,
people,
projection is a
yeah,
real
people,
thing.
for sure. So I take all those things into account. But some days it gets to me, but some days it don't. But I know that, like you said, like I said, that mistake doesn't define me as a person anymore.
Hmm. Now, you have a new mental health
Hmm.
facility. Now you're talking about mental health.
Yeah.
You're like an advocate for it. What kind of feedback have you received
Oh,
from
so
the
much.
people? Is there some
Um,
positive light in it?
It's so much positive and so much light, and just it's healing for me to know that um, what I do in the modalities in my journey and just talking about it
Hmm.
helps other people because it helps me too. Just it helps me process it and know that other people are feeling the same way I'm feeling some days. So
Yeah.
it's all connected for me. If I make someone else feel better, it makes me feel better. And I just know, just from being around people, serving people is the way to make yourself feel better, or just a way out. Because I know sometimes when I'm in my depressive modes, I'm like, what can I do to make myself feel better? And it's usually doing things for other people is the way that usually makes me feel good about myself.
Yes. And that's why you're getting into
Yeah.
this field more and more, right?
hmm
Did you get good feedback from your teammates maybe now that they realized what you were going through all those years?
Um, it's funny. I don't really have many teammates that I have like a couple teammates that I play with that I still talk to, but um, football is it's a weird brotherhood. Like you play with these people, but you're not really connected.
Like you're
Like
connected while you're playing, but
yeah,
other
but
than
like
that,
when you're done, like you go your separate ways and you just live a different life. I'm a single man. Most people have families,
yes.
and so there's just so many different things. So
Okay.
you don't really connect with the people you really play with. So, but I have a couple friends that I'm still friends with, and just starting a business,
Yeah.
helping other athletes who went through the
hmm
transition. So that's kind of what I do now, my purpose, and that kind of gives me that fills my cup
Exactly. Wow, and I wish you the best of luck with the mental health
for sure.
facility. Yeah, I think it's a great thing to start and do and continue. Now, as you continue this journey, because it's not like you mentioned, it's not one thing that you're done working on it. I got diagnosed.
That's the
That's
first
it.
thing I asked my therapist. I'm like, when is
Yeah.
Because in football, you can work out, you can achieve your goal. Like if I want to lose 10 pounds, I'm like, okay, I could achieve that goal, and then I'm lost. But I'm like, with mental health, it doesn't really. I'm like, how long am I gonna deal with this? When is it gonna end? Like, is it gonna get to a point where it's gonna be over? It's like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't
This
work like
it doesn't. This is
that.
lifelong. This is something you have to get to know and just
It just becomes more manageable,
yeah.
you
That's what I
know?
learned. Like before, I
Yeah.
went into mindset like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna work on it, work on it, work on it, and then I'm gonna heal it like a sprained
Yeah.
ankle, I'm gonna heal it, I'm gonna rehab, and I'm
Exactly.
gonna be done with it. But it's like, nah, this is just whenever it comes and
Yeah.
it goes, whenever it wants.
Yeah, especially depression, it comes in waves too,
Yeah, and
you know?
cycles. So I learned
hmm
my cycle. I know like how many days it's gonna come. And when I'm like a female.
It's like having your period.
Yeah,
I get
I know
it.
my
I get it. You're
cycle.
like, it's been 30 days.
I
Time to
know my
just
cycle
relax and not socialize because
for
I will
sure.
take it personal.
I know
It's
my
like, why are
cycle
you
now.
breathing so hard? Stop breathing.
That's funny.
Now, what is your ultimate goal going
Oh,
through this journey?
I'm still trying to find that. Still trying to find my ultimate goal. Because, like I said, I've been playing football since I was 5, and that's what I always wanted to do. And I reached that. I'm like, damn, like, I didn't think, like, I'm going to reach the NFL, then I'm going to do this. Like, no one ever thinks like that. Or,
I was gonna say, I don't
like,
think,
there's no backup
yeah.
plan. Like, you kind of have to go for it. Like, if you're going to go for it, you have to be 100% in,
hmm
or you just won't make it, or you just. So that was my goal. But now I think, I don't know. I'm still searching. Obviously, I want a family. Know that. So start a family, raise kids. So I think that's next for me. And my business, grow my business, start to help more people, start to tell my story more,
hmm
um, just start to do more for mental health, for that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
start a family and just grow my business and just help people heal.
I think that's a great start. I
Yeah,
think you're doing great, and I think you're in the right path for you.
yeah,
And if you're helping people along the way, then, I mean, I know that's why I do my job.
for sure.
Right? It's definitely fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that might be struggling through depression, or for those that might be, that are an athlete or struggling, and for anyone that can relate to your story, what would be your advice?
Um, I'll say just be vulnerable and get support, get the help that you need. I think when I did that, that's when my life changed. Because I said I was going through it, and I was still performing at a high level, still
Yeah.
in the NFL. So I'm like, if I got the support I needed and the help I needed, and talked about what I was going through at that time, I could have maybe played a little
Yeah.
longer. My career would have been different. Or
Yeah.
life would have been different. Maybe I wouldn't have. Just so many what ifs. I don't like to live in that world, but
Of
just
course.
things could have been different. So just be vulnerable about what you're going through, and just get help if you need it for sure.
hmm Yeah, I think obviously it sounds easier
Yeah,
said than done, but it's important,
it is.
to talk to, even if it's a family member.
Yeah,
It doesn't You don't have to go directly
you
to a
don't.
therapist. Just talk to have a good support system, and,
Yeah.
and communicate, and yeah, be vulnerable.
For sure.
Well, I love this conversation. I could keep talking for hours, but I think we're good.
Thank you for having
No,
me.
thank you for coming.
For sure.
Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, please leave us a comment and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next week.